We read news every day. News that's informative, but rarely encouraging. The Intermountain Christian newspaper aims to change that. They present the news you need to know, from what's going on in your community to your world, with encouraging words, motivation, and the resources you need to make positive changes in your life. What is your local government doing that you need to know about? What's happening in your community you need to be a part of? Whether it's a story from your neighborhood, a national story, or an encouraging word, you'll find biblical issues of everyday life in the Intermountain Christian newspaper. Intermountain Christian News is produced and supported by the work and donations of individuals and churches. You'll find it at churches, Christian bookstores, by subscription, and online at imcnews.org. To find out more about supporting this local resource, go online at imcnews.org or call Intermountain Christian News in Boise, Idaho at 208-703-8688. The Intermountain Christian News, a voice sharing the truth on matters dear to people's hearts.
Are you tired of the secular news? Do you want a Christian view of politics? Do you want to know what is going on in your Christian community? Your wait is over. Welcome to the Intermountain Christian News Hour. Here is your host, Dr. Anthony Harper.
I'm Dr. Anthony Harper here with the Intermountain Christian News Hour, making a difference. We are a voice of truth, and we report the truth about Israel. And, of course, we share our Christian concerns at the White House. And these are very troubling times for America and for Israel. And we want to get the truth out. And Mike Grant from Israel joins me. And, Mike, it's great to have you on our program.
Thank you very much.
And I appreciate you sharing with our listeners a little bit about your experience in Israel, how long you have been in Israel, and a couple other things after that would be what it's like for Orthodox Jews living in Israel. And thirdly, about all this incitement to violence against the Jews and the UNRWA, which stands for the United Nations Relief Workers Agency for Palestinian Refugees. So starting out with your background, Mike, in Israel, how long you have been there, and what's your experience been in Israel so far?
Okay. I was born in 1942 when it was still Palestine. So my birth certificate says Palestine, Eretz Israel. In 1948, I was here. I remember the war. I remember the bullets flying all over the place, and attacks from this side, that side, and the other side. And then I grew up. I went to the army. I served my regular service in the army, or actually in the Navy. I served in 3 wars, in 67, 70, and 73. I lived among Arabs a lot of the time because Arabs are everywhere here, and we cannot avoid them. They are citizens of Israel. Therefore, we are the same nation, the same, the same faith in the same boat. Anyway, we'll start with this. Everybody's talking now about apartheid state in Israel.
Yes.
Well, I've got news for you. I'm an Orthodox Jew. I've been to the hospital. My surgeon is an Arab. The nurses, most of them are Arabs. We live with them. They were in the same ward that I was, bed next to bed. We have got no problems whatsoever with it. Now, we've got another problem, which is called the Palestinians, or now they're called Palestinians. They used to be Syrians, then they became Jordanian, now they're Palestinians. They have got the UN UNRWA to take care of them and promote the so-called rights. Now, they're talking about 600 to 700,000 refugees. UNRWA have changed the wording of a refugee, an Arab refugee or a Palestinian refugee. They say that they are refugees till they come back to their original homes, their descendants are also refugees. So imagine an Arab who escaped in 1948 and was good enough and went to the States and got a job and started a family, and now his grandchildren are still considered Palestinian refugees. This is the only case in the world that this is happening. Now, they also have a preferential rates with the UN or UNRWA. UNRWA is spending about 4 times as much in money and manpower to treat them. They are not treating them, they are abusing them. They are publishing all the hate books to learn in school. They are teaching them to become martyrs and fight the Jews whichever way they go. Nobody is trying to get them out of the refugee camps because they are just pawns so everybody can play with them. The Arab nations will fight to the last Palestinian alive, but they will not let them live in their country. Take, for example, Lebanon. They cannot live outside of the refugee camps. They cannot get a government job. Most jobs are barred because they cannot get it, so it means they cannot make a livelihood. So, of course, they live in poverty. They've got nothing. Now, when Arafat came after Oslo Accord to Israel, and he went to some parts of the West Bank, and you would think he will take the people out of the refugee camps and let them make a livelihood. No, they don't. They're still locked in the refugee camps. So they are incited against everybody and everything, because everything is owed to them.
Well, Mike, what you said about the Palestinians are being used as pawns, I'm sure Iran wants to use them as a pawn because Iran hates Israel.
Well, let's put it this way. Iran used to be, before the revolution, they used to be best friends with Israel. And you could go to Iran, they would come here, there were trade and everything going with Iran for many, many years. Now there came the revolution and the Iranian Ayatollahs who teach hate. Why? Because Islam is divided into 2 parts, Sunni and Shiite. And they will fight a war that started about 1,200 years ago. And they will fight till the last Arab, until they will win. Iran is supporting terrorism everywhere. The Hezbollah is a terrorist group. It was even declared terrorist group by the Arabs themselves. Iran is supporting the war in Syria. Iran is supporting the war in Yemen at the moment, in Iraq, everywhere. And their war method is absolutely against the Quran. The Quran says you are not allowed to fight against women and children. You are not allowed to fight in mosques. And what do? They've got suicide cars coming and bombing the mosque of each other. If the Shiite are having a parade or something like this, so the Sunnis will come and attack them, or the other way around. So the whole thing is just hate, hate, hate. In the last 2 or 3 decades, they have killed 11 million Muslims. Nobody's saying a word about it. 11 million Muslims killed by Muslims, and the world is quiet. But if Israel will injure a Palestinian or kill a Palestinian who just came in the old city and stabbed a policeman, and the policeman shot the guy, then the whole world is writing about it. How dare you do it? How dare you kill him without trial? But that's a whole lot of BS. Excuse my language.
Well, I know BS doesn't stand for Bachelor of Science degree, but people can understand what you're saying. I understand. I have a little bit of dry humor, Mike, here, but you know, Iran is definitely, from what I've heard from many sources, financially funding the efforts of Hamas and in supporting hatred against the Jewish people.
Of course, they've been doing it for many years now. Hamas is supported by mostly Iran, Now they had a break-off with Iran for a while because they didn't want to do what Iran wanted them to do. So Iran stopped the money. So Hamas is a big financial problem. But this is a subject on its own. So let's go this. Again with apartheid, Israel have got a Bedouin, who is basically an Arab of a different sort, yes, living here, who is an ambassador for Israel.
Oh.
So what kind of apartheid is this?
Yeah. It seems to be a propaganda campaign, Mike, against Israel.
Yes. When I served in the army, I had Arabs serving next to me. Yes, I would protect him, he would protect me. So where's the apartheid here? Yes. So the whole thing is just a propaganda. It's a lot of money spent in order to get down Israel. Now we've got the BDS. BDS is a big problem, not to Israel. Don't understand wrong. Israel have achieved what it have achieved because of boycotting. Just because in 1948 everybody boycotted Israel because the Arabs had a law that if you sell to Israel, you cannot sell anywhere in the Arab world. Now, what does the BDS is doing? They want to stop Israel to employ Arabs. They've just fired 900 Arabs from Israeli factories because they were in the so-called the West Bank. Now, let's wait with this point. The BDS is doing everything to destroy Israel. The more they do it, the better off we are. So I've got a suggestion to those people of the BDS. Take your cell phones, your TV, your computer, your medical equipment, your medicine. Also, don't forget, you have to put the Bible there too and destroy it because it's coming from Israel.
I'm Dr. Anthony Harper here with the Intermountain Christian News Hour, an outreach of the Intermountain Christian newspaper making a difference. And we need your support of good news. Check out our website at imcnews.org, where you can download our newspaper and make your tax-deductible donation to support our voice, our Christian concerns at the White House and in Israel and other places. Do go online to make your donation and to support this important news ministry, the only evangelical Christian newspaper of its kind, a grassroots newspaper in our Intermountain regions, spanning from Colorado over to Reno, Nevada. And we currently have needs to cover our travel expenses for White House and Israel trips. And also, we need a donated minivan, a vehicle, a good condition, low mileage, air conditioning, and automatic transmission for delivery of our newspapers and other news events that we go to cover, representing Christian concerns. So please make your donation, tax deductible, online at imcnews.org, just by clicking on the donate banner ad that you see there. Thank you for your support of our good newspaper and for your prayers, most importantly, that we can continue to be a voice of truth for Christians in our Intermountain region, for the glory of God.
Are you tired of the secular news? Do you want a Christian view of politics? Do you want to know what is going on in your Christian community? Your wait is over. Welcome to the Intermountain Christian News Hour. Here is your host, Dr. Anthony Harper.
For our listeners that don't understand what BDS stands for, what is BDS? What does BDS mean?
They want to boycott everything from Israel.
What does the initials BDS stand for?
Oh, I don't know. It's such a long time that I already don't remember it.
Okay, but for people that want, of course, to know more about BDS, it's easy to find on the internet search engine to type in BDS and boycotting Israel, correct?
Yes. So now, if those people are so caring for the Arabs, for their welfare, how come do they force Israel to fire them? It's ridiculous. You are forcing Israel to fire the Palestinians that you're supposed to protect. So what are you doing? You're making them unemployed, poor. Where's the logic in it?
It's not very logical, Mike. I was in Israel last year, actually during December last year. We other news reporters, we went on a trip up to northern Israel, visiting some factories, and we dealt with that issue of the BDS and the boycotting, and I saw the Arabs in the factories there, and they mentioned all these Arabs are going to be let go, and this BDS movement is hurting the Arabs. And so I'm wondering, Mike, the question is, what is the motivation for this, other than, I don't know if it's just to hurt Israel more? I mean, you wouldn't think that they would want to hurt the Palestinians, but that's what's happening when they're losing their jobs.
Well, let's put it this way. In one word, anti-Semitism. This has been before, it comes again. Nothing changing in the world. The Arabs or so-called Palestinians are just pawns. Nobody cares for them. Nobody really cares for them. If the Arabs wanted to care for them, they have got so much empty space. They've got so many opportunities to resettle them, to make them worthwhile citizens, but they don't do it because nobody wants them. Saudi Arabia have not received one Palestinian. Kuwait, Iraq, Iran, nobody wants to touch them. In Egypt, they're hated. So what are you doing here? You're taking a certain amount of people, you make them refugees until the end of time, with no chance of anywhere better, and you try to say that it's Israel's fault. Why? Because Israel is here. They're changing the Quran, they're changing the laws, they're changing history. They're saying.
So the problem is the Iran and these other nations, they're using the Palestinians as pawns. They really want the Palestinians to take over Israel. They want the Jews to move out so that they can have their way.
No, they don't want the Jews to move out. They want the Jews dead.
They want right.
This is what they declare. Yes, you look on the agenda or the laws of Hamas. They will fight until there will be no Jews. You look at the PA declaration. When we take over the West Bank, there won't be a single Jew living in it. None whatsoever. So, where's apartheid coming? They're doing apartheid. They don't want the Jews. But in the village next to me, there's a big sign. If you cross this road here, you will be killed. Do not enter.
Yes, I've seen that sign, Mike, when I visited you recently.
Yes, okay, so where's apartheid? We are becoming here sort of second-hand citizens. Take, for example, that the Christians in Bethlehem. There have been 30,000 Christians in 67. Now there are less than 3,000. And according to church publication, the Muslims are killing them off, pushing them out, and destroying everything. Arafat used to go to the midnight mass in Bethlehem because if he will come with all his henchmen, the Christians will not be able to come and worship. So, you see, there is nothing so wonderful in the PA.
No, it's really upsetting, Mike, that Bethlehem, the birthplace of Christ, is overrun by Muslims that don't actually respect Christ.
Of course not. If you remember, about 15 years ago, they had that they attacked Israel, and they ran and hid in the church, and they were locked in there for several days.
Yes, I remember.
And they destroyed the place. Yes. defecating on the floors there and everything, because we just have to protect ourselves. The hell with the Christians. We don't care about them. So it's ridiculous what's going on. And the world is buying it. The world is so, how to say it, idiotic.
Very idiotic. Our Christian freedoms in America are under attack as well.
Yes, okay. Take, for example, CAIR, CAIR, have been declared as a terrorist group in America. They're still getting the tax exempt. They can collect money. They can do whatever it is. They can go into a government office, and nothing is being done to them because at the moment everybody's protecting the Arabs. What about the refugees from India, from Pakistan, from Bhutan in Africa? Never mind about them. So they're being killed. Who cares? But we have to protect the Palestinians.
There does seem to be, Mike, a favor for the Muslim faith in America over other religions.
Of course. Well, if you look at the moment, you've got 23 universities who are joining the BDS organization. Their Jewish students have got no rights. They cannot say anything. They cannot celebrate any holiday or anything like that because we have to prefer the poor Palestinian Arabs. Who made them poor? UNRWA and the Arabs. So you have to make a decision. What do you want here? What do you want? You want the Palestinians? Take them home with you. Put them in your house. So he will come in and say, well, I raped your wife. Oh, that's okay because I'm a Palestinian. I'm allowed to do that. Look what's happening in Germany. They go to the swimming pool. There was just a case recently that one raped a little boy. And he said, I couldn't hold myself because I haven't been with a woman for a long time, so you can't do anything to me. It's my right. There was a 15-year-old girl who went to the railway station and stabbed a policeman because how come the Arab girls in Israel can stab Jews and become martyrs and I can't? That's my right. You see, it's coming everywhere. In Sweden, by law, you cannot say it was a Muslim who raped or killed or robbed. They're protected.
So what if they can't say it was a Muslim that did that? What do they say who it was?
A person.
Just a person. Okay. So, but on the other hand, of course, if it was a Jew that did something or a Christian person, they would definitely focus and mention the name Jew or Christian and try to incite hate against us.
Of course, this is how it is. Whatever it is the Jews' fault. Look at Nazi Germany. What happened there? Oh, we've got the Jews. The Jews are taking your jobs. The Jews are taking your money, and so on and so on. Yes, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, and what you mentioned about the Ayatollahs, they blame the Jews and the Christians for the world problems.
Which problem?
Well, they blame the Jews and the Christians for all problems, probably.
Yes. Now, they raised the fuel prices, the oil prices to $140 a barrel. Is this a Jews' problem? No. They created it.
Right.
Now when the oil price went down, hey, it's the Jews. They want to kill us so we don't have enough money to do our terrorism.
Oh, boy.
And everybody is protecting them. Look at Lebanon. If you remember, it must have been about 30 years ago, they bombed the barracks to kill several Americans.
Yes.
Was anything done about it? No, nothing. The Arabs, well, we can't do anything. What happened about the bombing in where was it? Saudi Arabia. Nothing was done about it. What was done about the Twin Towers? Nothing was done about it. Yes. And it goes on and on and on, and nothing is being done because there are Muslims, and you were not allowed to annoy a Muslim. San Bernardino, yes, everybody is protecting them. It was their God-given right to go and kill people. Yes? So where do we end? Actually, there is a mentioning of it in the Bible. It is in, where is it? Deuteronomy chapter 22, paragraph 21. If you don't do what I want, I will. If you will annoy me when you do what I don't want, I will annoy you with non-people. Palestinians are non-people. They don't exist. And if you go by DNA, there are the Saudis or Egyptians, and some of them, very few of them, will be from Jordan. But anybody in the Arab world that was unemployed, a little bit funny in the head, or crazy, or whatever it is, they send him to be a Palestinian refugee because UNRWA was supporting them.
It is very crazy. It is very crazy, Michael. We're almost out of time for our broadcast today, but I want to encourage people to pray for Israel, to pray for you and your family, the Jewish people, for the peace of Jerusalem and Israel, and to seriously consider doing all that you can to support Israel, to travel to Israel, encourage the Christian people to fly to Israel and support Israel in every way. And we're dedicated to getting the truth out about Israel, Mike. And want to leave this wonderful scripture, 2 Chronicles 7:14, which Christian leaders believe is a solution to terrorism. And if America turns from its wicked ways, there will be great improvement in America. And I know, as an Orthodox Jew, Mike, you don't support what Israel is doing as far as the support allowing expression of homosexuality there.
Well, it's against the Bible, yes, and now it's becoming a very, you have to support them, otherwise you are homophobic. Forget it.
I know it's a serious problem. We have a really serious moral problem going on, and I believe that terrorism can be defeated if our nations are right with God. And I'm praying that Israel and America, both nations claiming to be under God, will return to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and honoring him again. And I appreciate you, Mike, thank you for sharing today.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.